Hello everybody, Ark here, and today we're going to be talking about Chara and Frisk. I'm sorry, I just kind of like saying that. My scarf powers activate. Anywho, um, today we're going to be talking about Chara and Frisk. Now, let's start from the beginning. Child climbs up Mount Ebbet. Child falls down. Child gets discovered by a monster. Child becomes part of the monster family. Child becomes ill. Child wishes to see flower. Child dies. Child's friend becomes ridden with grief, absorbs his soul, and wanders into the village and gets attacked by people, comes back, and he dies on a bed of flowers. Ta-da! The spoken backstory of Chara. But that's not 100% accurate. Shall we get into it? Chara, well, aside from being short for a character, it's a lot of name puns going around over here. But, on that note, Chara is the human child that first fell down sometime after the war. After the war had happened and all of the monsters had been sent underground, Chara climbed Mount Ebbet. Chara then fell down and was found by Asriel. Asriel then took Chara in to their parents, and their parents loved him. Her, them. Their parents loved them. We're going to keep it as non-sex gendered as possible for Chara, just because the game doesn't say it a lot. But the game then proceeds to tell you some disturbing details when you get to the true laboratory about how Chara's attitude towards people is pretty dark, and that Chara pretty much hates humanity. But while it paints Chara in a bad light for hating humans, Chara actually does like the monsters. It's shown several times that Chara actually does think about the monsters. For instance, while he doesn't consider human value or life to be of any kind of importance, he does actually care about not only his friend Asriel, but he also greatly desires to free the monsters. Now, a lot of people can argue the fact that, he just wants it because he just wants a war and wants all humans dead. And this could be a fact. But I like to think a little bit better of the character. Of Chara. I think a little better of them. And as of that, I tend to think that, it's not exactly a vengeance-driven sort of thing that Chara does this for, but more as a will to free the humans and then free the monsters, and then to get vengeance back on the humans for what they did to the monsters. I think Chara may have come down there and found out what the humans did and become extremely disgusted. I think that Chara may not have liked humans to begin with, but hated them even more when they got down there and found out everything. That's just how I feel on it. But as the facts state, Chara was not the kindest of people. Chara hated humanity and was a very cold, calculating person, understanding that if they died and then Asriel took their soul and went out, found 6 more human souls, then, ta-da, problem solved. We did what our father, for some reason, wouldn't do. And then, easy spot. Said and done. Bring back the souls, break the barrier, monsters are free, right? Except for some reason, Chara took their own body to a place inhabited by humans. Now, it's understood from a lot of context in the game that Chara was in control of the body up until the humans started to attack. Because at that point, Chara wanted to destroy them all. But that's when Asriel took over and took them back to the human world. The monster world. Undertale. I mean, Underworld. I mean, Point being, it was understood that until that point, Chara was in control. Now the question is begged: why did Chara take their own body? Why would you need to do that? I personally believe it was a sentimental attachment and a wish to actually give themselves a peaceful burial. I think if the humans had have came to him with a much kinder attitude than, oh my god, look at him, kill him, then it would have been a little bit better. I think it would have been a lot smoother, to be honest. But as things would have it, that wasn't exactly the case. They attacked, and Chara, already displeased with humans and already with a desire to kill them, almost destroyed any chances that the monsters had at being capable of being free and not having to be free with a war on their hands. That's when Azrael took over and took them back. So Chara, as a character, was completely drawn in. Now the other side of this is Frisk. Frisk is a character that's intended to be as the player designs them to be. Now, put the same circumstances from Chara onto Frisk. Frisk climbs Mount Ebott, falls down, wakes up, is discovered by Flowey. Fun that is. Though if you've played the game, spoiler alert, you know that Flowey is actually Azrael. A parallel, so to speak. Both were originally found by Azrael, just in different forms. And while Azrael helped Chara, Flowey tried to kill Frisk. And you go through the game, and of course Frisk is a silent character, so you don't learn a lot about him. The main point of Frisk is for the character to kind of place their own will, their own backstory on them. But a lot of questions have to be asked about Frisk's character. For instance, Frisk doesn't fall down with any bags or anything so to speak of. No items, no equipment, nothing. He's got a bandage and a stick. When he gets down there, no food, no water, nothing to say that he was going up there with the intent of surviving up there. A lot of people contemplate, and I agree, that Frisk actually went up there to kill himself, which begs the question, why? Well, there's two answers to that. Frisk is a young child. It could either mean that Frisk had a bad home and wished freedom from that, or that Frisk didn't have a family and was tired of being alone. Either way, Frisk then decides to do whatever. He'll go through this and he'll try not to die. He'll make friends. I keep giving them gender roles, don't I? But Frisk tries to go through this, make friends and whatnot. But the thing that really makes me believe that Frisk either had a bad home or no home at all is that when it gets to the top, it gives you an option of, I've got places to go, or I want to stay with you. Now, my question is, why is it I have places to go? Why is it not, I need to go home? Even in the beginning, when you're asking Toriel how to get out of the ruins, that's what you're asking. To get out of the ruins. Where's the exit? How do I leave the ruins? It's not saying, how do I get home? Because either Frisk doesn't have one, or Frisk doesn't want to go home. At no point is Frisk given the option to go home, per se. It's always stated that Frisk just doesn't want to be with Toriel and wants to explore, or that Frisk wants to stay with Toriel and wants to make that their family. Which begs the question, did Frisk have a family? Was it a good one? It couldn't have been if he went up to Mount Ebott, a place that is notorious for people disappearing and never returning. Or did Frisk have some kind of deep hope that wherever it was that these people were going was someplace he wanted to go? But who knows? That is today's episode on Archon Point, and like and subscribe for more. And we will see you guys next time. Arc out. Bye-bye.